Jesse Morrison was a standout performer for the wrestling program from 1992 to 1996. Competing primarily at 126 pounds, he posted a career record of 97-14 and graduated as the program's all-time leader in dual meet pins with 35. During Morrison's tenure as a Golden Bear, Western New England compiled a 67-21-1 record for a .758 winning percentage. The New Braintree, Massachusetts native excelled both on the mat and in the classroom, as he earned 3 academic All-America awards and was a 4-time All-New England honoree. A 2-year captain, Morrison capped his career by claiming All-America recognition at the 1996 NCAA Division III Championships with his 5th place finish.
Attorney Jesse Morrison comes from an outstanding high school program, Quabbin Regional High School, up in the hill towns of Central Mass. We've had 3 alum from there prior to him coming. So I knew that he was coming from a program where he was well established, great technique, great skill level, great work ethic. And he was very successful in high school. And I also know that he didn't have a problem getting in because he was quite bright. And that made it a lot easier. Up in the hill countries, he could have very easily have been a mountain man. He fishes, he hunts, he has pictures of him with fish every day on a line. And he could have very easily been born in a different century. But he decided to come here and become one of our leaders. Academically superior. He's a 3-time academic All-American. They didn't allow freshmen to be academic All-Americans. He was a 4-time wrestling All-New England wrestler. He was an All-American. He did everything short of driving the bus. And he made our program and made me look good for a really, really long time. Jesse comes from a wrestling background. His brother was a wrestler. He comes from, like I said, a great high school program, and his skill level is very, very high. He's very compact, very solid, and all his moves were very, very precise, on the money all the time. Absolutely, his technique was pretty flawless for the most part. He did a great job. There was no difference of whether he was going to hit it right or hit it wrong. It was hit it right, hit it hard, be successful, win the match, walk off. Let everybody know you're a great wrestler. Let your wrestling do your speaking for you. You don't have to say a word.
So the first time I met Jesse Morrison was walking into the wrestling room, the brand new wrestling room at the HLC, and someone telling me I got to see this kid from Quabbin. And I was like, Quabbin? I'm like, what's Quabbin? They're like, just watch this kid. So I walk in there with Jason Washington, the Salazzo twins, and I see this massive a person on the ground, and he's putting someone in a cradle, and this kid had a look on his face that he was squeezing the life out of him, and it was giving him so much pleasure. You had to laugh and you had to love it, because that was his #1 move, was the cradle. And he would hit that move from any position, standing, sitting, behind, anything. He would do the best cradle in all of New England. And that's probably one of my first thoughts about Jesse Morrison.
All right, things that I think made Jesse a great wrestler. On top, guys couldn't get out. Right? On his feet, he was a good wrestler on his feet, but on top, he was just as we would say in wrestling, he was just a beast. There were times Jesse would get taken down in the first period. I would be on the sideline going crazy, like, Jesse, what are you doing? But once he got on top, Jesse would turn guys. He'd have that scoop, what I call a scoop cradle, come down with the top of the elbow on top of the guy's head, and he'd turn the guy. There's 2 points, there's 3 points, hey, there's a pin. Those were some of the things that made Jesse a great wrestler, right? His perseverance, kid, I've never seen that kid give up in a match. Sometimes I would see guys would be down, but Jesse was always coming back, always coming back. Again, like I said, once he gets on top, he was just gonna turn guys.
So some of the things that I think made Jesse a team leader was definitely his devotion to the team. Being captain with him, I could always look at him and know that he would do whatever was right for the team. He would make the right decisions. He would lead by example. He was always the first guy out there in the morning runs. He was always motivating other people. He never ever thought that he could ever lose a match. He always went in knowing that he would win and knowing what he had to do to win. And he would talk that game up to every other wrestler around him. So as Coach preached family to all of us, we preached it to each other. So Jesse would look at other wrestlers and tell them what they would need to do or what he could do to help them. So he just didn't wrestle for himself, he wrestled for the team. So he had 100% heart into all of this. And that's kind of one of the things that made him a great leader, is because he led by example. He proved it every day. He lived it on and off the mat, and he never quit. He would never quit. He would give his right arm to win and his right arm for this team, just like all of us. And that's what made him one of the best wrestlers to come out of winning.
We came to leadership with Jesse. He had the respect of all his teammates. Never heard anyone talk bad about Jesse. Guys were willing to follow Jesse. There were just times where I would kind of look out and say, hey, we didn't have to worry about Jesse doing the wrong thing. The guy was always doing the right thing. The guys would look up to him.
Jesse always exhibited great leadership qualities, and I would say that was very akin to be like an implied power, where if you're in a room sitting down and I was at the head table and I said something, they would all look to Jesse to see if they confirmed what I was saying. He led by example. He was very quiet on the mats and quiet at practice, but he led because people wanted to follow him because he was successful on all aspects of being here. Typical Division III mentality, a scholar athlete, on the mat, off the mat, was very, very successful. A couple of examples I can think of during his matches to show you how intelligent he was. We went through some techniques on a Thursday, introduced him for the first time. 2 days later in a home match, I think when he was a sophomore or junior, he's using the moves like he had been doing his whole life. At the Nationals, he's wrestling in a match where if he wins, he's an All-American. If he loses, he drops down on the loser side and has to claw his way up to see if he can become an All-American. Jesse Morrison had dirt strength, absolutely strong, and had an unbelievable cradle. And during the course of the match, he's wrestling a much higher seated wrestler than him. I was watching the mats, and all of a sudden, I heard this clap. And I knew he locked his hands. I knew he had the cradle. I turned around and picked up his gear. I wasn't watching the rest of the match. I said, it's over. He's got him. A couple of seconds later, the whistle blew. Jesse became one of our All-Americans.
In my mind, Jesse's a Hall of Famer because you get what you earn, on and off the mat. The work you put in off the mat will show when you're against your opponent, just like in school. You have to do the work in order to get the degree, and Jesse always stood up and did what was right. He never made excuses. If he failed at something, he went back, worked harder, polished it, and came back and succeeded every time. Jesse, I just want to congratulate you on your Hall of Fame induction. Me and the rest of the team are extremely proud of you, and you deserve every minute of it.
First of all, the opportunity to congratulate Jesse on hard work, both on and off the mats, goes without saying from us. He's very small in stature, but now he's standing in the pantheon of wrestling greats and giants here at Western New England University. Congratulations, and welcome to the club.